What are you doing? What are you doing in here? Is that your chair? Meow. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Watch out, he'll get you.
I'm building beds, yeah. Gotta build the garden. You trying to hold them all? Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So we have had a little bit of rain off and on today. It's kind of thinking about raining at the moment, so I've got a big old plastic bag in my pocket and I may have to throw it over my camera if it starts in. But it is chore time. I figured I would bring you out here and just give you a little bit of an update on things while we do the evening feeding. Mr. Smith is handling all the animals back that way, so the bucks and the chickens and everything. And so I'm coming down here to feed the goats, and then we'll head across to Sophie and Amos. Alright, so I wanted to give you guys a few updates on some things. First of all, I mentioned in a video about a week or two ago about this camera here that I'm using, how it got broken. Excuse me. How it got broken, had a little bit of an accident with a little Ruby and a tripod and a leash and all that mess. And so it looks like I will be able to send my camera in to get it repaired. Thankfully, when I purchased this camera, just a couple months ago, I purchased the insurance, for which I am very grateful, because this is the third camera body broken in the last year. So I purchased the insurance this time around and went ahead and initiated the claim today. I'm waiting for them to send me my mailing slip so that I can mail this in. Of course, that leaves me without my good camera. I do have an older camera that is not broken. What in the world? Why did my phone just randomly start playing something? Maybe that's a video I need to watch. Okay, so as I was saying, I do have another camera that is not broken. It's an older camera, but I should be able to use that for filming in the meantime. So whenever I get my mailing slip, it'll probably end up being after my trip. I'll have to go ahead and mail this camera back and then wait for it to get fixed. I've never had to send in a camera like this, so I have no idea how long it's going to take. Fingers are crossed that it doesn't take too long, but in the meantime, I'll just be using my older backup camera. Hopefully you won't see too much of a difference. I'll still be able to use the same microphone and all that, but yeah, and I don't know how much it's going to cost me yet either, because they haven't told me what the fee is. But either way, the fee is going to be less than a whole new camera body. That was a lot of money, which is why I've spent the money on the insurance this time. Look what Daddy's got for you, girl. Oh. Have to spray you guys down. The daggone flies are back.
Sophie.
She's like, I don't trust you. You're going to spray me with something.
No. Sophie. Sophie. No. Sophie.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm done. You gonna let me spray you? Hmm? You gonna let me spray you? Hmm? He's like, nope, not in a million years, woman. So we kind of think these snakes, the pair that live here, might actually be getting used to us, because when we first saw them, as we would come across and do this, every time they saw us, they would vanish. but they don't really do that now. Now they just kind of sit here and stare at us. As long as we don't get too close, they don't go anywhere. Of course, we don't get too close. We give them their space. I had somebody comment that Sophie, our donkey, is a sweetheart, and that Amos, the mule, is a stinker. And that perfectly sums them up. He's a stinker and she's a sweetheart. Of course, she's a donkey, so she's going to have her moments too, but we do love having them. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the puppies. So at the beginning of the video, you saw Ruby playing in the creek. She is the one of the litter that we took in, rescued. And thanks to our daughter-in-law, the one who just had the baby, which I'll talk about in a moment, we were able to find places for all but 2, and then the last 2 ended up being sent to a rescue that specializes in coonhounds up in Pennsylvania. And of those 2, one of them was adopted already, but Nomi, the first one who got a name from us, I called him Nomi, which was kind of a play on no me, because he wanted all the loving. He is the only one left that has not been adopted. One of them in Kentucky, the Fort Campbell area, had been fostered, and he just went to his new home last week. Out of all those puppies, we did have one adoption fall through, which is why we now have Ruby. We really did not want another dog. I mean, we have kind of a small house. We sort of downsized when we moved here. Technically, the house, square footage wise, is bigger than our last house. However, this is 2 homes. It's our cabin plus the apartment. So our home itself is smaller, and we really did not have any intention of getting any more pets. But what can we say? We're animal lovers. But we are at our limits, and we are beyond our limit. So anyways, we kept Ruby, and as of right now, there's only one puppy who does not have a forever home, and that is Nomi. So if you are in the mood to adopt a puppy, and you are in the New England area, Nomi is up there, and he's still waiting for a home, but he's doing great. I shared a post about him on social media from the rescue, and unfortunately, Facebook has been throttling me lately. Apparently, they don't like what I've been sharing, so they haven't really been showing it to much of anybody, but there is a post there, and you can see how he's doing, and see some current photos and a little video clip of him interacting with a cat. So, but speaking of my daughter-in-law and the grandbaby, as you know, we have a second granddaughter now, and our son and daughter-in-law did make the decision that they do not want photos of their daughter on social media, and I completely respect and understand their decision for that. However, they are okay with me sharing this. Meeting the grandbaby and getting to love on her. She is just absolutely precious, and it is starting to rain, so I'm going to have to move because camera. So we had a really nice visit. Of course, while I was there, we did have to do a photo shoot, because I do love doing photography, and it's always my joy to be able to do that for friends and family. And this was no exception. So I spent a few days there and headed home, and now I will be leaving in the morning for Texas for my next trip. In September, I'll be headed to Alabama, and then in October, I'll be going off to Virginia to the Homesteaders of America conference. Probably will be my last year attending that one. Even though it is my favorite of all of the festivals and such that I've gone to, I love HOA. I will still continue to be a member of HOA because then I'll at least be able to watch all of the sessions and all of that stuff online. But I will not be attending in person after this, most likely, just because it is a long ways away. It was a really long drive when we lived in Alabama, and now that we live in Arkansas, it's 4 days of travel. And I know, yes, I could fly there. I hate flying. I hate flying, so I have zero interest in doing that. I told my son, Joshua, the one who just had the baby, I said, you know, because he is in the Army, and he is really hoping they get stationed in Alaska. We were stationed in Alaska. We loved Alaska. As a matter of fact, this is one of my favorite photos right here. This is kind of how I felt about living up there. And I told my son, if you guys do end up getting stationed in Alaska, I will get on a plane for that. Most assuredly, I will get on a plane for that. But anything else, I just can't see myself doing that. But next year, even though I know there's tons and tons of, you know, homesteading events and festivals, conferences, all that stuff, as of right now, I have 2 potential speaking engagements, but they're pretty close. One of them is here in Arkansas. Well, actually, technically, they're both in Arkansas. One of them will be a homesteading event, and then the other one is a fundraiser that I've been asked to speak to. So as long as nothing falls through, I'll have the 2 speaking engagements. But beyond that, I have no plans to go to any other conferences, fairs, festivals, what have you, because it's time to work on the homestead. And this fall, as things start cooling down here, I will be working hard on beginning our Good Life Mountain homestead. You know, it took 7 years to build what we had in Alabama. Built it from scratch for the most part, and it takes time to do all those things. And if I'm gallivanting all over, you know, the United States, which, you know, one of the reasons I love these events is because I get to see people. I get to put faces to names, you know, I get to meet some of you guys, but I've got to buckle down and work on the homestead, or I'm not going to have a homestead channel, you know. So we're starting over, and we're going to be building a new homestead. And so that is what my number one mission is for next year. I'll share more about the speaking engagements once they are in ink, and I have more of the details, but those are the only things that I plan on doing next year besides working on the homestead. I have one other announcement before I wrap this up for today. Many of you know I have a t-shirt shop. If you don't know, you do now. And every so often I'll come up with some new designs to throw in the shop. You can get some Cosmopolitan Cornbread things, of course. You can get a Shalom from the Homestead shirt, which is like my little sunflower design that I drew. You know, a couple fun designs. And this week I added 2 more designs. Being Cosmopolitan Cornbread, a lot of times people will call me Cornbread Lady. And so that's just kind of become my nickname when I go places. You know, it's the Cornbread Lady. It's the Cornbread Lady. And I thought, you know what? I should make a Cornbread Lady t-shirt. And so I did. If you are a Cornbread Lady, there's a shirt for you. And if you're not a Cornbread Lady, but you love cornbread, there's a shirt for that too. So with that, I am going to finish this up, head up into the house, and start packing for my trip in the morning. I am looking forward to this ladies' retreat. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that is it for today. Thanks for joining me here at the homestead. My name is Constance at Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and I'll talk to y'all next time.